high ball by
Alexis Zavala leading the Spartans.
Snap to Escobar. Jay Escobar.
Shea run, Shea run. Slides in with a leadoff triple.
Backhanded by McKay with a big winner by McKay.
Lakewood Youth Sports presents the 12 through 14-year-old Volleyball Championships for 2025 with the Red Aces taking on the Smashers here at Hoover Middle School. Let's have a look at tonight's lineups.
My name is Rain Carlos and I'm number 13.
My name is Julia Algola, I'm number 48.
Hi, my name is Sophia Garcia, I'm number 7.
Hi, my name is Juliana Ara Milan and my number is 77.
My name is Angelina Ramirez and I'm number 38.
Hi, my name is Dahlia Sanchez and I'm number 9.
My name is Trixie Tavlanza and I'm number 26. Hi, my name is Kira Vallejo and I'm number 11.
Hello, my name is Rudy Carlos. I'm the coach of the Aces.
Xiomara Milan, coach.
Hi, I'm Angelica Aguas and I'm number 26.
My name is Jose Flores and I'm number 4.
Hi, I'm Isabella and I'm number 9.
My name is Jocelyn Lim and I'm number 8.
My name is Luke Murillo and I'm number 10.
My name is Elizabeth Potter and I'm number 30.
My name is Fabricio Vasquez and my number is 13.
My name is Ava Wisner and I'm number 11.
Hi, I'm Coach Winsley. I'm the coach for Smashers 12 to 14.
So we're set to rumble here at the 12 through 14-year-old Volleyball Championships for Lakewood Youth Sports, and the Smashers will start off tonight under the service of Jocelyn Lim, and they get their first point of this match. This is the first of 3 potential games, and it's a best-of-3 matchup in this championship face-off. So early here in game number 1 from Hoover Middle School here in the beautiful city of Lakewood. Great volley going back and forth early in this contest. And just like that, it is the Smashers up by 2. Jocelyn Lim once again on the service. Nice overhand smash. Good return there by the Red Aces. Good back and forth action so far. That one going into the net, and that will now make it a 3-0 contest in favor of the Smashers. Smashers coached by Winslet Martinez, and the Red Aces coached by Rudy Carlos. Vasquez with a good return there for the Smashers. Once again, Vasquez. Good back and forth action between these two clubs. Great fundamentals that we're seeing right now between both of these ball clubs. Lim on the return. Vasquez with a good set. Potter puts it over the net. Potter once again. Great back and forth. This one is really going leaps and bounds here with Vasquez taking it over the net. Unfortunately, the Red Aces make a little bit of a faux pas. And just like that, it is 4-0. Once again, this is a best-of-3 matchup. And just like that, we are at 5-0 in favor of the Smashers. So once there is service in 5 points, change up now in the service. Elizabeth Potter will now be serving here for the Smashers. Potter with a good service. Once again, good volley between both these clubs. Vasquez there. Nice dig. Into the net, and just like that, the Red Aces in a pretty big deficit right now at 6. Not insurmountable. We've seen teams in the 10 through 11-year-old come back from as much as 7 points. And now the Red Aces are looking at a 7-point deficit early here in game number 1. As we were mentioning, it is a best-of-3 contest. First team to 25 will win the game. And the Red Aces trying to get some traction, now trailing it by 8 early here in game number 1. Elizabeth Potter continues to be your server. We're taking a short timeout. Rudy Carlos is trying to settle the troops there for his Red Aces. Obviously trailing by 8 points. It's something you just want to gather everybody up, try to get them up on the same page, and hopefully just kind of settle the nerves a little bit. So back to service here for Potter. Smashers up by 8. Good return by the Red Aces. Vasquez over the net. Good dig. Garcia doing a great job tonight for the Red Aces. Nice back and forth rally going on with these two ball clubs. Good set. Lim on the return. Garcia, nice return. And just under the net, and just like that, the Red Aces come up with their very first point of the game number 1. Now Trixie Tablanza for the Red Aces will be your server here for her squad. Good underhand serve. Nice set over the net. Good return by Lim. And point will go to the Smashers. So back up by 8 points. Fabrizio Vasquez will be your server here for the Smashers. Nice overhand service. Red Ace is able to get it back over the net. Nice return. Good set. Nice placement. Great back and forth so far. We have a whistle. And it looks like point will be awarded back over to the Smashers. So, well, take that back. No little bit of confusion here. I think we're going to have service go back to the Smashers. Yep, that will be the case. So Vasquez still continues to serve here for the Smashers. They are up by 7. Nice overhand smash. Good setup. Wisner, nice return. Garcia, nice return. And finally, another point here for the Red Aces. So they're back on the board, trailing by 8. Now Julia Algu will be your server here for the Red Aces. Nice underhand serve. Vasquez on the return. Wisner. And Lim, nice set over to Vasquez. Gets it in. Yep, right within the boundary line. So that'll make it now an 11-2 advantage here for the Smashers. Angelica Aguas will be your server here for the Smashers. So early here in this contest, it is the Smashers with a pretty comfortable lead right now. And Aguas on the serve, underhanded, nice velocity. Good set. Just didn't get over the net, so it'll make it now a 10-point advantage here for the Smashers in game number 1. Once again, this is your 12 through 14-year-old volleyball championships for the city of Lakewood and Lakewood Youth Sports. Drops in for the point. So the Smashers lose service. Red Aces will now get to be your service. Giuliana Milan will be your server here for the Red Aces. Lefty. We haven't seen a lefty tonight at all, and unfortunately it looks like that will go just out of bounds. And they'll lose point, makes it back to a 10-point advantage here for the Smashers. Ava Wisner will now be your server here for the Smashers. Good setup by Aguas. Just over the net. And the Red Aces just can't get that one to drop over. So it's now 14-3 in favor of the Smashers. Wisner will continue to be your server here for the Smashers. Set up by Vasquez. Good hit by Murillo. Nice back and forth. Vasquez once again has it drop right in. And that'll be a 15-3 advantage here for the Smashers. So far the Smashers have had a pretty comfortable lead in game number 1 in a best-of-3 matchup. And Wisner, your server. Good dig by the Red Aces. Does that fall in? Yes, it does. So now makes it 16-3. Great to have you along with us here via City TV. J.R. Ibarra along with our award-winning TV crew, bringing you all the action for Lakewood Youth Sports as we do each and every year and every time we have a championship matchup in this great city, in this great program with Lakewood Youth Sports. Wisner on the service. Murillo over the net. Good back and forth. Nice overhand smash, just goes right out of bounds, so it now makes it a 17-3 lead here by the Smashers, because there's been a 5-point advantage here. Nope, Wisner will continue to be your server. I thought we were going to have rotation on that. Just right in. Aguas to Garcia. Garcia once again. Nice dig by Aguas. Just over the net, falls, and it will be a point here for the Smashers. Now at 18-3. Now we have a change up in server. Kingston Flores will now be your server here for the Smashers with a very sizable lead in this game number 1 matchup. Garcia has it drop in. I think that'll be a point here for the Red Aces. Nice return. So Sofia Garcia, who was the one who generated that point, will get to be at your server's box here. So Garcia just taking a little bit of time, trying to gather the thoughts. Overhead smash unfortunately hits the net, and point will be awarded to the Smashers. Isabella Lim, we've not seen her service just yet. Nice underhanded serve. And not able to be handled by the Red Aces. So now the Smashers just 5 points away from closing out game number 1 with a 20-4 lead. And that one looks like it'll drift out of bounds. We'll have rotation and a change of service. Now brings up Angelina Ramirez into the server box. Good overhand serve. Good pick by Lim. Murillo gets it over, and unfortunately Garcia not able to get it over the net, so now just 4 points away from closing out game number 1. Brings up Luke Murillo as your server for the Smashers. Nice overhand, and it might be out of bounds, and I believe it is, so that'll bring up a point here for the Red Aces. Vallejo is your server, and looks like that one will go out of bounds, so another point here for the Red Aces. So now beginning to just kind of chip away at that pretty sizable lead by the Smashers here in game number 1. Red Aces trying to generate some offense here. Nice underhanded serve, and just like that, another point on the board here for the Aces. Nope, looks like it'll be awarded over to the Smashers. So Lim back to service, and just like that generates the point, now just 2 away. So Jocelyn Lim trying to close out game number 1 here for the Smashers, and doing a pretty fine job so far. Nice overhead velocity on the service. Aguas on the return. Lim to Vasquez. That looks like it drifts out of bounds. Nope. Ruling is service back to the Smashers. So Lim, good velocity. That looks like it will close it out. So game number 1 will be given over to the Smashers as they lead this one in the matchup by 1 game with a pretty sizable victory of 25-7. So now the Red Aces will start off game number 2. Vallejo trying to get the service over the net. Unfortunately, can't get it to drop. So Jocelyn Lim will be back on service. She's done a fine job in the service department. And that one looks like it's just out of bounds. So it looks like we're all tied up at 1. So the Smashers, first time tonight, find themselves tied up. Sanchez now is your server. Vasquez. And that one up against the wall, so that'll bring back service to the Smashers. Potter will be your server. Elizabeth Potter. just over the net. Good save by Vasquez. Another great save by the Red Aces. Vasquez back again. Unfortunately, Red Aces can't come up with that one, and the Smashers will lead by 2. This is early here in game number 2. The Smashers already with a 1-game lead in this best-of-3 contest. Aguas on the return. Nice back and forth. One more point here for the Smashers. So once again, they begin to eke out a bit of a lead, just methodically getting their way here in game number 2. Another little bit of a faux pas, so just like that, Red Aces are down by 4. Once again, this is game number 2, best of 3. Smashers with a 1-game advantage here in this matchup. Drops right in. Looks like Murillo had a nice dig there, so just like that, the Smashers will be up by 5. Potter on the good service. Nice set. Vasquez over the net. Good set by the Aces. They need one more, and they got it. Nice back and forth rally going on between these two clubs. Great fundamentals that we're witnessing tonight here from Hoover Middle School. Does that drop in? Looks like it will. So it's a 6-point advantage, and Vasquez is back to service here for the Smashers. Nice overhead service. Does it fall in? Yeah, it does. So now makes it a 7-point advantage here for the Smashers. Really good velocity by Fabricio Vasquez on the service. Just like that, once again, Smashers are up by 8. So the Red Aces finding themselves in another pretty deep hole here in game number 2. Kind of faced off with that same scenario from game number 1. So got some trailing to pick up. Does that fall in? I think that is just beyond boundaries. So now turnover service goes to the Red Aces, and they'll come up with a point here, now trailing by 7. Rain Carlos will now be in service here for the Red Aces. Good overhand service. Inbounds? Nope, unfortunately just beyond boundary. So just like that, Smashers up by 8. So Angelica Aguas will be your server here for the Smashers. Nice underhanded serve. Good dig, good setup by Lim. Vasquez set up and cannot get it over the net. Kingston Flores just didn't get it high enough. So just like that, 7-point advantage here for the Smashers as the Red Aces now have 3. Trixie Tablanza will be your server here for the Red Aces. Just over the net, and unfortunately Garcia could not handle it. So service goes back to the Smashers, and they get one more point, now leading at 11-3. Ava Whistle will be back in service here for the Smashers. Oh, falls right in between two of the players. Milan just couldn't handle the ball, and it's now a 12-3 advantage for the Smashers. We're in game number 2 in the best of 3. Nice underhand service. Good return by Garcia. Aguas, nice setup, hits the Raptors. That's one thing that you run into with some of these gymnasiums. Unfortunately, the Raptors might be a little bit too low for some of these balls. And that'll turn over service here to the Red Aces, and they pick up a point. So now Algo will be your server. Nice attempt there by Vasquez. And it looks like it will fall in. So that'll be a point here for the Smashers, making it 13-4. So Kingston Flores will now be your server here for the Smashers. And another point pickup here by the Smashers, thanks in part to Murillo. So Kingston Flores will continue to be your server here for the Smashers. Here in game number 2, nice overhand smash. Good setup by the Red Aces, just over the net. Garcia, good return. Nice action, and unfortunately, point will go to the Smashers. So now with a very sizable 15-4 lead. Good overhand service. Nice setup. Murillo doing a nice job at the net. 16-4 now in favor of the Smashers. So the Red Aces just been having a very difficult time tonight. Definitely giving it some really good effort. And a bad service, unfortunately, will turn over service and award a point here to the Red Aces. Giuliana Milan will now be your server here for the Red Aces. In that lefty configuration here. Good set. Nice return. Point pickup here by the Red Aces just when they really needed it. So they trail by 10. It's not insurmountable. It's very doable to get a rally going. Nice underhand serve. Return by Garcia will go just out of bounds. So just like that, the Smashers come up with the point. Isabella Lim back to service here for the Smashers. Nice underhand high service. Gets set up and out of bounds, unfortunately. So now the Smashers pick up another point and edge that much closer from trying to close out game number 2 and the match. Once again, nice underhand serve. Lim on the set. Lim once again. Good overhand smash. Good dig. And not able to return it by the Red Aces, and the Smashers will pick up a point. Now just 6 away from closing out the contest. Lim. Good set. Just in bounds. Actually out of bounds. So it'll be 5 points away here for the Smashers to close out the match. And it looks like there might be a service violation, so that'll award the point here to the Red Aces, and Sofia Garcia back to service for the Red Aces. Have a pretty sizable deficit they're trying to make up here. Good overhead service picks up the point just when they needed it most. That could spark some life here into the Red Aces, now at a 20-8 deficit. Garcia on the overhand. Good return by the Smashers. Looks like it'll be just out of bounds. So just like that, Smashers will pick up another point, making it 21-8. So Luke Murillo will be your server here for the Smashers. Nice overhand service. Good return. And unfortunately goes out of bounds. So just 3 points away here for the Smashers to try to close out this match after having won game number 1. Garcia just can't pick it up and over the net. And just like that, 2 points away now. Nice service, and looks like it's just out of bounds. So point pickup here for the Red Aces, making it 23-9. Angelina Ramirez now will be your server here for the Red Aces, facing a pretty sizable deficit. Good overhand smash. Vasquez on the return. Set it by Potter. Just out of bounds. So the Red Aces pick up another point when they really needed it the most. So now into double-digit territory at 23-10. Good overhand. Will it be in? No, it'll be now service going back to the Smashers with the opportunity to close this one out. Lim doing a fine job as a server. Set. And there it is. That will close out the game and close out the match. The Smashers with a very dominating performance tonight, able to win it in 2 straight games in this best-of-3 matchup. So our congratulations here to the Smashers in winning this 12 through 14-year-old Lakewood Youth Sports Volleyball Championship. Head coach Martinez, I'm sure, is quite pleased with this outcome. So for all of us here at City TV, I'm J.R. Ibarra. Thank you so much for joining us as the Smashers come up with the 12 through 14-year-old Lakewood Youth Sports Championship volleyball matchup for 2025. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.